symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
2564 is coming up on Burning 9, right?
The 2564 Atlantic Tower.
All right, it was a beautiful weekend of football, and of course, it's a new week, yes, and there's still a lot of football to be played. We've seen a lot over the weekend, some on the good side, and notably, there was an ugly side of football that was displayed. We thought this big 2026, maybe we should move on from all those things, but the ugly side of football, like I said, was displayed this time in the Brazilian League. Of course, right there in South America, where Cruzeiro faced up against Atlético Mineiro, and trust me, it did not end well. Cruzeiro won the game, but a lot happened after that. And there were other games, the FA Cup. We also saw the games over the weekend as well. But yeah, we are here to discuss the new, let me say, set of football matches that will be played this week. Of course, the Champions League is upon us. Good evening and welcome to the locker room. I am Afiz Ogubanjo, and of course, for the next 15 minutes thereabouts, we'll be giving you the GCS stories from the world of football. Soccer, you can call it Jogo Bonito, you know how we call it, yes, on the streets. It's the beautiful game. And I won't be doing this alone. Of course, I have the man, the main man, the lion himself, Mr. Jerry Apello, of course, with me in the studio. And Maiwa Lau will also be joining, yes, virtually. And of course, we are here to dissect all the stories that happened, yes, over the weekends, the one that I mentioned, and of course, the Champions League and also other games in Europe and also in the world of football generally, yes, that will be upon us this week. Before we go on, let's just talk about that. You can join us on all our social media handles. You can follow us. We're on YouTube and yes, on Voice of People TV and VOP TV Plus. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channels, and of course, turn on notification bells so you will miss any of the exciting episodes on this show, Locker Room, and of course, our sister programs right there on those platforms. Jerry, welcome to the show. I mean, a lot went down over the weekend. Which was the highlight for you? Because I don't want to go into that Cruzeiro Atlético Mineiro match yet, but which was the highlight for you from the FA Cup games? Liverpool finally putting Wolves to the sword, showing that that game in the Premier League was a fluke, was a one-time thing.
We all knew it was a fluke, and only that those are buyers who call themselves Manchester United fans.
They will come for you.
Who are celebrating temporary top 5. Which, of course...
Is it temporary? Yes. It's going to remain like that at the end of the season.
Carrick is beginning to break.
Do you think so?
Yes, he has got seen.
He has only one game a week.
Yes, he has one game a week, and unfortunately, he cannot confidently win those games anymore. He only goes to West Ham, gets a draw, and gets exposed and eventually by Newcastle United. He had to take a draw super specialist.
William Osula.
William Osula.
Come on, I should have forgotten about this one.
To bend it like draw soup. That's the goal of the season for me.
Really?
Yes.
Are there other goals?
No, that goal.
You're saying
for
that
me,
because it's Manchester United.
As far as Jerry Apella is concerned, that's the goal.
That's
of
the
the
goal.
season. if you see the way that guy carried himself up, he was going to fall out of the throne. He picked himself up from an impossible situation, ran to that defense, and from an impossible position, that call out.
That was a beautiful.
That's the wording.
That was a beautiful.
That's goals they use for advertisement.
With his weaker foot as well.
Yes, that's a goal used for advertisement. And I hope Manchester United will have it as part of the advert next season. And but
of course. I mean, even happening this time of the season, it's still going to be fresh in people's minds.
Yes,
that was a beautiful
all through next season.
Yeah.
And I'm tipping it for the Puskars. Because that goal should win the Puskars.
Jerry, you are stretching it. You are stretching it this time.
But there was much controversy this weekend in the Oldham Derby, talking about Rangers versus Celtic.
And Celtic, yes.
Yeah, the fans went onto the pitch, created a lot of rancor, and it was really an eyesore. I know Scotland, sometimes a lot of tempers rise when the Oldham Derby comes to play, but the fans should know better. The fans did really do well. It was all raucous. I thought we only see that in the NPFL, but I think Scotland showed us that they do it better in terms of fans' issues. And there was even a situation over the weekend where a fan went to unplug the VAR.
Now, at that time, I was like, what?
That was the height of it.
It's like they give these fans too much.
Yes, there was even a banner saying that pull off the plug of the VAR. And the fan went ahead and followed the instruction and did that. The referee went to seek the VAR video and found out that it was... It
couldn't show anything.
He had to wait extra minutes for the VAR.
What do you think should be done to that fan if they find it?
Of course. The whole world saw the fan, they covered his head, but they'll be able to trace that fan. Yeah. Of course, there's going to be lifetime ban.
It has to be lifetime ban.
Yes,
you don't do that.
All stadiums.
Yes, you don't do that.
Yeah, it was a weekend of very interesting features. Manchester United sitting behind the TV to watch
teams in the FA Cup.
Yeah, big boys in the FA Cup play. So it was a very interesting weekend.
I remember on the show last week, I was like, Arsenal should be able to brush Mansfield away, but they put them on the ropes. In fact,
Wrexham did to
yeah, I'm even coming to the Wrexham and Chelsea game, but the Mansfield Arsenal game. But Jerry, look at the pitch. Look at the state of those pitches.
That was the only hope.
Yeah.
Of even El Dorado this season. They don't want to win the FA Cup.
They just want to beat the big team.
Yes, we'll put them on the limelight.
Yeah,
so that's it. It was even very tough for Chelsea as well. And Port Vale is struggling in League One. They beat Sunderland. Who would have seen that coming? Look at Fulham.
Losing to Southampton. It's like the lower teams, I mean, the teams in lower division, they didn't come to play. I mean, Wrexham, if that game went on and on without a red card,
without a red card, they would have beaten.
I think they would have beaten Chelsea.
The red card really set them back in that game.
You see what I was saying about Otto Okonkwo? What do you think now? Should they still be? Should they be considered? And
very the same because the goals they consider were barely not his fault. And I think 2 deflections. Yeah. And even the third one, there was nothing he could do about it.
There was nothing he could do, yeah, exactly.
He's a very good goalkeeper, very decent.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to see him in the Premier League next season.
Now, what of the issue in Brazil? that one, Jerry, 23 red cards.
Yeah.
23 red cards for the game that ended 1-0.
I think officially, when it's 12 red cards, I think 7.
When it's about 5 to 7 red cards, the game should be called off because who's playing the game?
I think that should be in the Guinness Book of Records.
Yeah, very ugly incident.
I've never heard that before. 23 in a match. Was it that they were even giving the fans as well?
No, players that were not even on the pitch.
They were collecting.
It was. I'm going to indulge our producers to bring it later on, but it was ugly. It was very ugly. It just started from a harmless player trying to dive over the keeper looking for a penalty. And the keeper stood up and put his two knees on the player, trying to, and of course, you should know that his players are going to come for him in his defense, and the style as a full-blown. I was even seeing players that I thought they were retired. Players like Ork. Ork is still playing football for Atletico Mineiro. I saw him there. Players like Lianco, Renan Lodi. And you can say South American football, honestly.
They should have just
There's
signed
still a lot
up.
to be done. They
should
should
have
even
signed
tell
up
God that
for
the fans
UFC.
don't even come onto the pitch.
They should have turned the game to UFC. So that we know it's kickboxing.
You could see players displaying some wrestling skills. So wrestling skills were on display. I mean, when I saw that, and I'm like, is this where football is going? NPFL is learning where all these ones are.
MPFL, I don't think MPFL has gone to that.
NPFL is even fan. It's even fan violence that we experience. Not players going
at each other. That's the height of it.
It was really bad, and I just hope that something's going to be done. But if they give them 23 red cards, who's going to play the next game? I thought it was a cup final.
I think they're going to be walking over their next 3 or 4 games. Yes, and they will just make them play those games, but it's already 3 points off. At least then you just come to the stadium or show up. 3 points off.
But I think someone said something before I came on there. He said the team B, the junior players will be so happy that finally they have a chance to come and play, because of course it's the reserve team that will play, and it was a very, very ugly incident right there in Brazil. I thought that was a cup final. Cruzeiro up against Atletico Mineiro. 1-0 in favor of Cruzeiro. It ended. Caio Jorge scoring the goal, but he himself was red carded, in that melee, and it was really ugly. Players like Ork that were supposed to, settle the things. Now he's 39 years old, by the way. He should be doing better. I mean, I was even seeing a goalkeeper, 45 years old, Cashew. He has been there for the longest time, and he was even the one leading the players on. And trust me, South American football is...
It's not even really a good example. Someone that left his wife and went to marry the niece.
You don't want to go into that one. You don't want to go into that. You don't want to go into that one. That one.
You guys doesn't give a damn.
He doesn't care. I mean, his children's cousin.
Yeah.
How can you marry your children's cousin?
That's hope for you.
That's hope, right? And of course, we spoke about the FA Cup. Chelsea. You can't know the Chelsea that will turn out. That was a big game against Wrexham. I think Chelsea just made it difficult for themselves. Though Wrexham, they gave a good account of themselves. And Mansfield against Arsenal. And I think the draws are going to, happen today. We'll see the teams that will be going up against each other. But let's get into the stories of the day, and let's start, from home, like we always do. Eric Chelle still in the news. I mean, this man, it shows that he wants to work with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He wants to work with the players, but the NFF, it looks like they are beginning to block his way. Well, Eric Chelle, the head coach of Nigeria's senior national team, has expressed concerns that some individuals are working against him keeping his position. And this comes after a confidential document outlining his demands for a new deal was leaked to the media, which he believes is a deliberate attempt to get him sacked. And Chelle led the Super Eagles to a third place finish at the AFCON and still has a year left on his contract. But the NFF had agreed to extend his deal by 2 years. However, talks have stalled due to his demands, reportedly including a monthly salary of $130,000 and 18 other conditions. And the league documents has sparked speculation about Eric Chelle's future, with reports linking him to the vacant position at current side Stade Rennais in France, because he was linked to Marseille. You remember, Habib Beye, former Rennes manager, got the job, and this time around, we thought all those discussions were already buried. We don't still know where he stands, whether he's still going to continue as Super Eagles manager. But as it is, he is still Super Eagles coach, right? And this time around, coming to make a revelation like this, that some people in the NFF don't want him to keep his job. Does that mean that it's those set of people, they actually know about those documents, those conditions actually getting leaked? Because he was acting surprised. He said it's true, right? He said it's true that he made those demands, but he was not expecting those demands to be leaked in the media. Yeah. Does it mean that some people are really working against the man?
When I said that that document was actually leaked to make a mess of Eric Chelle, I knew what I was saying, and eventually it has come out that that was actually the case. Some members of the NFF felt that if this document is leaked to the press and to Nigerians, they will lose
credibility.
He will lose credibility, and the face of Nigerians will be against him. Yeah. Unfortunately, Nigerians were even felt bad that this should even be in the demand. That shows that the NFF is lacking in its administrative capacity.
Exactly.
So because how come he's demanding for as little as internet, as little as an office with the necessary equipment to work as a coach?
Yeah.
His backroom staff, though he has stated that it's 130,000 euros, he said this is also to foot their bill. It's a standard. coaches who come with the backroom staff, they want to also cover their wages.
Exactly.
It's even cheaper for the NFF instead of getting those individuals on individual contracts. If a whole contract covers the video assistant referee and his assistant, it makes it cheaper for the NFF. The NFF should even be happy taking this situation as it is. So, yes, he still has a 1 year left on his contract. If he's negotiating with you, why washing your dirty linen in public? Just because you want to throw him out.
Don't you think it's a deliberate move? Because maybe they're just trying to like make him look like, look, we don't even want you in the first place. The thing is just put you there to just do something and you manage to do it, and now you're making this demand.
It's a two-way street. The NFF are not the ones paying him.
Okay.
And they might want to send a message to the person who is paying that this is the situation on ground, but they don't know how to do it. The best way about it is to leak it out so that he will hear through the media that this is what he is demanding. It's not like we are the ones who is pressuring him or telling him to make these demands.
To make those demands.
But on the long run, not carrying the coach along, it's also making the coach look bad. And it will make the coach also lose respect for the NFF, knowing that this is the kind of people he's working with, these are the kind of people he's dealing with. There's going to be trust issues on the long run. Because as simple as that demand also stated that he needed full control in terms of the players he invites to the team. What that means is that he is inviting some players in that team without his express say-so. That means some players are making it into the team without Eric Chelle's consent, which is really bad. And the NFF allowed this document to leak, thinking that it was going to make Eric Chelle look bad. It has made Nigeria as a country look bad. It has made the NFF look bad. It has showed that they are not capable of handling the activities administration of the NFF. And it's pretty sad that we're in this situation. For Eric Chelle, I think he's just one call away from getting a job and dumping the Super Eagles. It's just that he has not gotten a job that really would give him that satisfaction that he's going to be leaving the Super Eagles for this position. For instance, leaving the Super Eagles for Angola is not an upgrade, whether I like it or not. But leaving
they don't have a history of pain, and I don't think a 19-point agenda is going to come out in public with the Angolans.
Definitely, at least Angola will do things differently. Of course, it's only here that things that are absorbed get swept under the carpet. Imagine I am the NSC director. The NFF would have been on fire right now because
dissolved.
Yes, would have been on fire right now. For that document
take some members off and bring new ones.
For that document to be leaked, I'm telling you, Gosol will be in trouble. All those who manage that document, as far as that document is concerned, will be in trouble. There will be an investigation.
That's what I'm trying to prove to
and if body found wanting, will lose his or her job. Because this is like it painted the country in a bad light.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, give Eric Chelle what you feel he deserves. You don't have to go about it. I know you are not the one paying. Talk to the third party and say, oh, this is the situation. The guy wants an improved contract. What do we do? Can you add this and this? Let's go back to him and negotiate. If you negotiate, go fall to £80,000, 80,000 euros. It's fair enough. Everybody handshake, make fun out of it, make him even feel wanted, provide all the necessary things. Imagine he's even asking for business class flights for his family. Those are things that even
those are things that we are not even supposed to be seeing
the coaches ordinarily should enjoy. Those are the extra he should enjoy being the coach of the Super Eagles. His family should be able to fly business class to come and see him in Nigeria or at games. Those are just perks to make him feel at home, make him feel that honored that he's coaching the Super Eagles of Nigeria. This should be in demands, but unfortunately it is there, and the NFL felt the best way to make him look bad was to repeat that.
They were just trying to make fun of him because what are you trying to prove? Bringing out somebody's demands. He wants to work with you, and of course he is right to demand. He has even changed. He has
proven his message that he's a good coach.
Absolutely.
He has what it takes.
Which coach
would have taken the
Which
position?
coach would have done that with those players? And he even did that with some decisions that were made by you in the NFF that look, put this player, and he still managed to
to still get the result
to achieve is him. Were they even expecting him to go and win the AFCON with all that they provided? Were they expecting him to win the AFCON?
They knew winning the AFCON was going to be a miracle. And of course, Eric Chelle was a man who proved a lot of doubters wrong. And with what he did at the AFCON, yes, though he took a team that went to the final the last time and went on to win the bronze this time. Let's look at the scenario prior to the AFCON. The team was already losing face. We were struggling in the World Cup qualifiers. The AFCON qualifiers, though they did well, But on the long run, the team was in disarray prior to that competition. But he has brought stability back to that team. Belief is back in that team. That team can go into any game and believe they can beat the opponent, no matter who it is, whether Brazil, US, or anybody in the world. That is the hallmark of every team that have at least the future is looking bright that it's going to do well.
Yeah.
And now this is the same mistake they made with Pesero. Letting Pesero go without a plan. I think they are also looking like that. If Eric Chelle should go now, you see another long wait looking for a foreign coach, which will now make it look a whole like a mess. Eventually, they'll bring in one Finidi George from somewhere, and he will say all vibes.
What do you mean one Finidi George? Finidi George is the legend of the game in Nigeria, and is about to go on to win a second MPFL title.
Come on. He's a local champion
don't do
as far
that.
as the coaching is concerned.
But we've always been crying for a local
Is it the
coach.
same MPFL?
We've always been crying for a
Is it
local
the same
coach.
MPFL that we are watching every
The
day?
MPFL is tough. For Rivers United are back to bottom.
Yes,
We are
it's
going to discuss that.
It's a
Rivers
competition.
United are back to bottom.
It's a competition of mediocres. Remo Stars, look at what Remo Stars were struggling with Rivers United. It was
I'm still going to go into all those games, but still on this Eric Chelle story. Well, he has said he's committed to his role, and but he said something. He said, "I really wonder who put it out there and why. The only reason will be for me to be fired because I am aware some people don't want me to continue as the coach. But I have one more year to go on my contract, and I'm looking forward to it." I mean, you remember Maya was always talking about a man from Bauchi. What has this man done to you? What have you provided in his stead that, okay, can do better than Eric Chelle? Because for you to come out and condemn what this man has done, trying to slate him because he made some demands. I mean, who are the people that you think that can, I think the man from Bauchi now should even be called out and say, okay, give us names from here in Nigeria that can do something that this man has done, or can even do better than what this man has done. Because I don't know why we are still having people like this in football today.
Yeah, if you look at the NFF, we have a lot of people running the Nigerian Football Federation who has no iota of what it entails in terms of handling a football federation as big as the NFF.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have Gosal as the head of that headless team who have next to nothing idea on how to really take this the administration of football in the country to the next level. We came from an Amaju Pinnick and we moved to Gosal. It was just like the last administration before the last one that happened 8 years. Of course, we all know what happened after Jonathan left. Okay, 8 years of wandering around the bush and so on and so forth.
Building a field in Kebbi State.
We have continued on that status quo. Yeah, when people thought that Amaju Pinnick was struggling, we now moved to Gosal. This one, we're not even struggling, we're not even making attempts. We're just doing vibes on vibes. And it's pretty bad that we have a generation of players who should be excelling and doing well. But unfortunately, we have those who are administrating football, who is the weapon fashion against the team. I've always labeled the NFL as a weapon fashion against the national teams. And it's bad that the person who is leading you is the one who is leading you astray. So where do you now turn to? You are just trying to survive because you know where it's leading you to is astray. But unfortunately, what can you do to stop that? Because they say the land of the blind man with the one eye. The one with one eye, the eye is having issues.
Is that?
Yes, the eye is watching this way instead of watching straight. So it's a very difficult situation that Nigerian football has found itself, except this board goes, where we have a board that is serious, that can easily raise funds to hire a top-class coach. Because it starts from whether the NFF is financially capable
or not.
Of course, the NFF has the resources to be financially capable.
I think they do.
But unfortunately, those monies have been budgeted to take care of the pockets of criminals, so-called cabals that run Nigerian football, not to take care of the national teams. All the money that comes in, they know how to share it. But when it comes to persecuting the major aim why those monies are available,
they don't. They are nowhere to be found. They are found wanting. Always.
Unfortunately, all the time there's no money. But when there's money to be stolen, to take care of mosquitoes and give themselves free escort, the money will be available. How many times have you seen the NFF go on strike that they are being owed?
Never.
That the money is not enough to take care of their basic needs.
You remember when we were even talking about the NFF during this Nigeria-Congo case about qualifying for the, when I said NFF, they are seeing FIFA outdo them in sleeping over necessary things because it looks like they are never awake. It's when they know that something is going to favor them, that's when you see them being active. The main thing you're supposed to do to treat your own football in your country, you're not doing it.
Yeah, look at even the sport faculty, they're even struggling because they've been complaining about, they had to complain about friendlies until the Cameroon friendly was
until Cameroon.
arranged.
I think the WAFU, it was supposed to be like a WAFU tournament. It was cancelled. Maybe that was why they even went on to play Cameroon. But of course, just like you said, they tried. They were trying to play friendlies. Do you want us to go to a tournament without playing any friendly? And now we're playing a team twice, and you think that's enough?
And now the competition.
Maybe we should even thank God that the competition is postponed.
That means even that friendly will not be enough.
It won't be. It won't be. They have to play other games. They'll be match trusty again.
Yes, they'll be match trusty again because they'll be going back to their club sides.
Yeah, yes.
And they'll be going back to a different setup. So they will need more friendlies to prepare for that one. But whose pocket? What's the plan of the NFF? Even Madugu, you might be surprised that he's even owed salaries. That he has not been paid. What about the other age grade teams? What about the coaches? I saw the story that Landobozo was taking credit that he was the reason why, I think he was trying to mention the players that they played under him.
Some young players, yes.
These are players who
is that what we are doing here now?
Landobozo, what is his success with the under 20 teams he managed? They all crashed out in the quarterfinals.
I think the highest that I remember was the under 20 in 2007.
He still recently coached the under 20. At the end of the knockout stages, that's how they go.
How many players has he produced from that under 20? Let's even go to 2007. Because I remember in that tournament, there was Arturo Vidal of Chile. Chile knocked Nigeria out, by the way. There was Arturo Vidal, there was Mauricio Isla, and there's Alexis Sanchez. And Alexis Sanchez is still playing ball. Our youth, we don't want to go to our youth system. Our youth system is just bad. I always go back to under 17 that Nigeria hosted 2009, the last major world event that Nigeria hosted, 2009.
Little Messi and
Little Messi. You remember Stanley Okoro? There was San Emmanuel.
Yeah, they today.
I can't even remember all those players.
Yeah.
I can't remember all those players. It was 2009. But I can call names of other players. Neymar played in that tournament. Neymar Jr. played that tournament. Philippe Coutinho was in that tournament. Casemiro was there. Emiliano Martinez, Granit Xhaka was that tournament. They won in Switzerland, won in Granit Xhaka was there. Mustafi and the likes, and they are still playing. Where are all these young players? 2009, when Ghana defeated Brazil to become the first African country to win the under 20, and where are you still playing football? Where are these players? These young players, it's like they will just come, play one tournament. They are expected to actually fail at that tournament. They will fail, and that's the end. It's becoming like, how will I put it, like a poverty scheme. Okay, you guys should just come.
Even the last one, also Zubeiru's team.
Yes.
The sentiments were used.
And the only player we're still holding on to from that team is Akot.
Yeah.
Akot is the only one. Or maybe Daniel Bamei.
The under 15 goalkeeper.
Imagine a Nigerian player played under 17 twice.
Bamei, the captain.
How can he play under 17 twice? I remember Olaiwaju Kayode was playing under 20 like 2 times. You know what old?
Yeah, during an Aboso's period. Yeah.
Yes, twice.
It was a point Salisu was being recycled from that under 23 as well. Someone who was openly investigated for picking players through bribery. He was called back, and they were even talking about giving him the position again. So,
everything is just wrong with Nigerian football. From even the so-called football agents too. They will just come. You don't have any plans for these young boys. Then you lie to them and take them you won't even take them anywhere.
If you say wrong, that is an understatement. It's a culture. It's a way of life.
But that's not a culture that is worth celebrating, Jerry.
It's a shame. It's a shame that you can't shame the shameless. And unfortunately, those who are running football feel good with this. As far as their pockets are well taken care of, they will just do a shamble of an arrangement saying we are handling football, we are making plans and so on. Anytime you see them behind the camera, money has exchanged hands. All of them are smiling.
They will never come outside.
Yes. At the end of the day, we can even imagine. I think there was a certain Olympics.
Yeah.
That a certain brand had a partnership with the Nigerian Olympic Committee.
Yes.
To give them gadgets.
And those gadgets were collected.
Those gadgets were hoarded and collected by the officials. The so-called athletes saw the officials holding these gadgets, and they got information that the gadget was supposed to be given to them. They had to even protest and make the sponsors know that this gadget you made available, the officials are holding it. They are even giving it to their girlfriends who came with them.
Exactly.
Their girlfriends even have copies of what is meant for the athletes. That's how
If you want to even digress a
That's
little
how
bit,
bad it is.
a lot happens. It's not even about Nigerian football, Nigerian sports in general. You remember AFCON? I said AFCON, the Olympics. Was it Olympics or the World Championship now? World Championships. So what was given to the distance runner, Atobi Amuson, where she threw it and she was like, what is all this?
Athletes are now switching their Eastern region names
They are living.
to Kuwaiti names to go and run for Kuwait.
There's this lady that runs for, or is it Bahrain now?
Bahrain, yes.
Salma.
Imagine how much she's paid.
I can't. I'm trying to get her name now. She runs for Bahrain.
Yes.
And
how much Bahrain
she was
is
doing
paying
well
now?
for Bahrain. She's still doing well for
You
Bahrain.
know how much they're paying out? The Nigerian Olympic Committee can never pay out that amount.
Look at Favor Philly. Now, I think was it Turkey that came out to say that anybody that is interested, from any country, that they will take on the person. See, Nigerians go and claim Turkey because they are not well taken care of in this place.
It's pretty sad.
How can you say you want to go for a big tournament like the World Championship or the Olympics now? The officials were more than the athletes. I've never heard that before.
You need to see.
It was the World Championship.
You need to see the next Commonwealth Games that's coming up.
Yes.
The boxers have already been selected. And I don't want to go through many details. A lot of boxers who were eventually selected, that was this past weekend at the stadium.
Yeah.
There are a lot of accusations that some of the boxers were not fairly selected.
Exactly.
There were a lot of decisions and judgment that was given to select those boxers. So eventually, when we get to the Commonwealth Games and we see that none of our boxers even make it past the
1
group
point,
stage,
and that's the end.
everybody will say, there's something wrong with boxing sector. What is wrong is that
it's
the
deep
process.
rooted. It's deep rooted. The process is
Everything,
bad.
corruption.
I think it's that word process is the issue with Nigerian football and Nigerian sports. Process from the grass, from the roots, there's already a problem. Age, of course, age grade. They're selecting like a 35-year-old for an under-17 tournament.
The coaches even encourage it. The coaches from the academy.
Their pockets.
The coaches from the academy, from the grassroots.
Yeah.
I think there will be a day where maybe we'll organize an investigative journalism where we go and expose what is really happening.
We need to.
Because it's that bad that when they are...
You're about to open something.
When the grassroots coaches, when these players come for trials from the street, from the hood, there's a way they measure them in terms of their age. They use their height, their size, their look, not their passport, not their birth certificate.
Okay.
So by your size,
you look 17.
The coach will ask you, how old are you? You say, I'm 20.
Well, don't say that.
The coach will call you, bring your head, he will knock you and say,
You're 12.
You are 12 years old. Go outside, you're under 12. Somebody is 20.
Yeah.
You're under 12. The other person will come, well, how old are you? 16. Shut up. You are 8 years old. Will knock your head.
You already know what that means. That's covered.
So the other ones who are coming will start reducing it automatically. That's how eventually those players will live through their football career with that age that was given to them by the word of mouth.
Yes.
And just by looks. Eventually, when the players start making it, he would have already turned 35.
There was a Nigerian player that was celebrating 29 years old when the twin was celebrating 35. No, I think he was celebrating 24. When the twin was... I didn't know that twins were usually older than each other. I thought twins are supposed to be identical.
One come years before the other one. The other one remained in the womb for another 5 years, 6 years before you go and join the twin brother.
I mean, where was the likes of Macaulay Santos? After that under 17
injuries,
rest in peace, Mitala now. After that under 17, we didn't get to hear anything. Kabiru Akishola, and it was good during that tournament. Kabiru Akishola as well. I think the only one we saw was
Ajiboye, the goalkeeper. That his family was waiting for him at the airport.
I don't want to go into his age investigation because if I do, we saw him at the 2018 World Cup when he claimed a particular age, and it was the. Okay.
It is well.
All right, it is well. But of course, we are here to discuss Nigerian football anyway. Of course, that is what we do, and we hope that it is going to be better right here because charity, they say, begins at home. When it is good here, trust me, these boys will go on and represent us in other countries very, very well. And speaking about players that represent the Super Eagles in other leagues around the world, of course, Nigerian players, they had mixed fortunes in European football over the weekend. And Akko Adams ended a 5-match goal drought with a strike for Sevilla. I mean, that man, I think is the one they look to for goals now as they are trying to battle relegation right there in the La Liga. While Salim Fago, who also was part of the contingent, a name that Jerry was like, how did this name get here? When we saw the names released for the AFCON. He scored for Victoria Plzeň in the Czech First League, and Geoffrey Chinedu netted a brace for Kryla Svetov Samara in Russia. And in England, Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassey, and Samuel Chukwueze, the Fulham trio, suffered outbreak as Fulham themselves were knocked out of the FA Cup by Southampton, and the Premier League side lost 1-0 at the Craven Cottage, with the trio unable to make an impact. I mean, that game was supposed to go Fulham's way, but I think that's the joy of the FA Cup. And we also have another player, Ibrahim Olawoyin, who was influential in midfield for Çaykur Rizespor, who secured a 1-0 win over Antalyaspor in Turkey. And we saw the big game. Nigeria's captain is like the captain against the vice captain. The captain Wilfred Ndidi for Besiktas, and also against Victor Osimhen of Galatasaray. And Osimhen, as usual, scoring the decisive goal in that game. A brilliant goal, by the way. But there was something about that goal, Jerry. Before the cross came in from Leroy Sané, Osimhen was shouting. Osimhen was like, give me ball. Give me ball. Because the ball was supposed to come to him earlier. It was like this. Give me ball.
That's
typical Victor Osimhen, isn't it?
That's confidence. You know, when a player has confidence, and he knows his capacity to deliver, he expects you to read the game and give him those passes. And of course, he delivered at the right time. Of course, he's sending a warning to Liverpool that
the Champions League.
He's going to roast them if they are not careful. Virgil van Dijk, if he sleeps on it, if he snoozes, he's going to lose. He's going to lose against.
We saw what happened in the league phase. It might happen again.
Yeah, they should be very, very careful. And unfortunate for Wilfred Ndidi, but when you're playing against Victor Osimhen, that's what you should expect. You should be 200%.
Of course,
you are going to stop him and even beat his team. So that's out of the way. Let's see how that plans out this season. It looks like they might also be going for the Champions League. I don't know, treble.
Jerry, on a lighter note here. Yeah. Still speaking of that Victor Osimhen goal, you know, I said it was like, give me the ball and all of that. So someone that when we saw the game together, he said, if Sané did not cross that ball, was he going to do what he did at the AFCON?
Yeah. He was going to even do more.
Was he going to go? He was not going to do that.
He was going to do more.
You sure he was going to do that?
Yeah.
He was not going to do that.
He was even going to do more. I think he would.
He will go and meet Leroy Sané and grab him and say it's a team game.
That's it. That's it, because
I think he's aware of his environment.
It was really it was feasible that Osimhen was the man he needed to give that ball to.
Yeah.
And if he deliberately showed that he was not going to give Osimhen, I'm telling you, it would have taken the whole stadium to stop Osimhen from.
I think he's going to be more aware. He's going to be more aware that this is not Nigeria. Where all
it was not Nigeria. It happened in Morocco now.
Now, but it's against his Nigerian brothers now. And of course, the NFF, they will sweep it under the carpet. He has done it before.
If it happened in Turkey, in that game against
Besiktas.
I'm telling you, even the Turkish fans are going to support him this one, because how will Sané not pass when it's obvious? And Osimhen was even screaming, and he eventually wasted the ball. I'm telling you, even the fans will join Osimhen. Sané will be waiting for it. I know that Osimhen has the backing of the fans in Turkey. Even the board, everybody knows the quality of Osimhen. And if Sané decides to get on his bad books, I don't know what's going to happen. Sané might get benched and he might get some few punches.
Football no violence. Because we're still talking about the Brazilian war. Football no violence.
Yeah.
But of course, in Portugal, Bright Godwin provided the assist for Vizela's winner against Figueiras 1932. And of course, it was a big win for a certain Italian side, Hellas Verona. And they have two Nigerian players, Daniel Oyegoke and Gift Orban. Of course, they helped the club to secure a crucial 2-1 win over Bologna in the Serie A, and Orban provided the assist for the decisive goal, while Oyegoke contributed defensively. And these are not two men that should be considered for the Super Eagles, especially Gift Orban. I've talking about Gift Orban over the years. He's been having issues. I think he said his path to goalies and all of that. He's been having issues, securing a visa to come and play for the Super Eagles. And we don't want issues that are currently going on with DR Congo about eligibility and all of that. But is he a man that should be considered for Super Eagles in the nearest future? He's doing well in this area.
Yeah, he just picked up his football career, and Injuries have done him a great disservice. And let's not forget, he also struggled getting playing time when he was in France.
Yeah, for Lyon.
For Lyon.
And also at Offenheim in Germany.
Things started turning around badly for him. But now he has picked up himself in the Italian Serie A. I think it's high time Eric Chelle take a look in and see what he's doing. And eventually gets an invite to prove himself, maybe in a friendly.
Yeah.
And eventually, if he does, Gift Orban is a talented player. He dribbles. He's a player you like to watch. He knows how to hold on to the ball, dribble, and beat one or two players.
Yeah.
And he also adds a goal contribution to his play. So he's an all-round player you like to see playing against defenses for you. And I can't wait to see Gift Orban showing such kind of promise. But that does not take it away that we've seen players who are very good. But when it comes to the national team, they've been unlucky. Say for, I'm trying to remember the current Dortmund captain.
Who's that? The current Dortmund captain?
Marco Rose. I'm trying to
Marco
remember.
Rose. Marco Rose. Yeah. Very unlucky career.
Very unlucky player.
Very
Fantastic
unlucky
talent.
This is the MLS now. Very unlucky career.
Yeah, fantastic talent.
One of the players that refused to move to Bayern Munich. And it didn't turn out well.
Loyalty.
He was
Loyalty
missing
for
big tournaments due to injury.
Anytime
that's
the World
loyalty
Cup
as we
comes
speak.
He's always found one thing. Injuries will never let him go to competitions. I hope that will not be the case of Gift Orban eventually when he looks at his football career.
Okay, just to, on a lighter note again, Udinese had a wonderful weekend and Maduka Okoye was there. So I think
goals.
He's
shipping in goals.
It was not his fault now.
He does have.
It was not his fault.
He's shipping goals. He's shipping goals week in, week out.
When week in, week out, he kept a clean sheet. He kept a clean sheet 2 weeks ago.
When last? 3 weeks ago.
Jerry, I knew. I just said I should mention that. I just said I should mention that.
He's always conceding.
But let's quickly talk about the LPFL before we go on the show today. And Rivers United maintained their title challenge with a 3-1 win over Bendel Insurance. First time in a long time that they will score 3 goals back-to-back in a game. It happened at the Adoke Amesimeka Stadium in Port Harcourt. And Chijioke Mbauma and Wisdom Samuel scored for the host, while Samson Obi sealed the victory in the 89th minute. Wisdom Samuel has scored half of their goals in their three goals that they've won in recent times. And this win keeps Rivers United top of the Nigerian Premier Football League table with 2 games in hand. And Rangers Internationals moved into second place with a 4-1 thrashing of Remo Stars in Enugu. I mean, Remo Stars, there's a lot you can say about Remo Stars.
How do you have 2 games in hand and you're topping the league table? And you say I should take that league.
They had 4. There was that. They had 4.
And they were
are still playing in scheduled games. They had 4.
And you want to take that league serious?
But it's a league that the winner from last season, Jerry, is at the bottom.
Yes, we all know the reasons why.
What's the reason?
They sold about 11 of those. 13 of those first team players.
That team sold too now. That team sold.
Let Arsenal sell 13 players after this season is over. First team, I'm not talking about second. Let's see how they look.
But is it about the selling or the replacement?
See, that's it. If Liverpool or Man United sells 13 first team players, that means you sell first 11 and you went to the bench and sell the best 3 again. And you want that team to go next season and win the league or even make top 4. You're asking for too much. That means you'll be having players like Elliott are captaining the team. So that's the Remo Stars you want to put your money on. So that's a no-go area. For Rivers United maintaining the lead with 2 games in hand, it shows you that the quality of the league has really depreciated. It's just a mediocre league. Yeah.
Jerry, come on now. It's a difficult league. I remember, when Sundowns defeated Remo Stars, in Abeokuta. A lot of people were like, it's because of the NPFL, it's really poor and all of that. But of course, a team that was top and is still struggling now, it shows how difficult it is. At least if the NPFL was poor, even with their poor form, Remo Stars, they should still be somewhere in the mid-table. They are bottom. Anybody's beating them.
That's why the South African club offered that they should not even bother playing.
Yeah.
They should just come. He's going to pay their.
And also in the NPFL, Jerry, your guy scored. Ahmed Musa scored a goal.
Yeah, it was good.
I don't know if he's still playing or if he's managing.
Seeing the legend coming back from administration and scoring a decisive goal for Kano Pillars has been struggling this season. Relegation is looking on their side due to their struggle this season.
Yeah.
It's good that he took the mantle and showing the other players how it's done.
He scored the winning goal. That was beautiful.
That's the stuff of a legend.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we are going to discuss the Champions League tomorrow on the show. But let's quickly give you the fixtures that will be happening tomorrow. And of course, on Wednesday, Galatasaray will be up against the Liverpool. Victor Osimhen against Virgil van Dijk. That's a big matchup. Atalanta up against the Bayern München. This time around, there's no Ademola Lookman. Atleti that will be involving Ademola Lookman will be up against Tottenham Hotspur. Newcastle against Barcelona. Leverkusen against Arsenal Wednesday, Bodo Glimt Sporting CP, Paris Saint-Germain against Chelsea, and Real Madrid against Manchester City. Big one for Wednesday. And of course, that is how we are going to be closing the show for today on The Locker Room. Thank you so much for joining us. And also, thank you to Jerry Apeloi for making it to the studio to be part of the show, and also the people behind the scene. Thank you so much for making this show wonderful. And of course, we are going to catch you tomorrow at the same time. Do not forget, my name remains Afiz Ogubanjo. And of course, up next is Political Lens. Please stay tuned and have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye for now.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand. To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Nambo ezigbo nwa afọ Nigeria ka ihe m ga-eme pụrụ iche
nwanne m nwoke
Adanne
m ga-akwụ chi n'eziokwu kwanyere ndị ọzọ ugo ma lekọta obodo anyị anya
gbam
ụmụnne m na ụmụnna m obodo anyị bụ Nigeria ga-aga n'iru ma ọ bụrụ na anyị jikọta aka kwado ndị na-achị anyị ka ha mee nke ha, anyị ga-emekwa nke anyị.
N'ezie ọganihu ga-adị ma ọ bụrụ na anyị na ndị na-achị anyị jikọta aka rụọ ọrụ.
Asaa bụ
onye ndị na-achị anyị kwekọtara ha ga-eme ka obodo wee dị mma.
Igbo kwenu! Igbo kwenu! Igbo kwezuenu o! Ọ bụrụ na bụ ezigbo onye Naịjirịa aga m eme. Na-edozi ụzọ anyị ụcha oge niile. Na-akwụtụsi n'ụzọ eziokwu. Na-emere ndị agbata obi anyị ebere. Ndị ọchịchị ga-arụ ụzọ ọma na-abịa. Nwa ụlọ ọgwụ ọma na Anambra. Menugwu ka ọ dị nchebe ihe n'abalị. Nkwekọrịta gọọmenti na nzaghachi ndị obodo. Ụmụnne m na ụmụnna m bilie ka ebulie Naịjirịa elu. bụrụ na nchebe gburugburu mebe obibi onye niile ndị ọchịchị ga-eweta ahụike ọ bụrụ na nrọ ọrụ ike mụta aka ọrụ ndị ọchịchị ga-emepe ụzọ ọrụ n'Ebonyi Imo ọ bụrụ na nkwanye ugwu nye agbụrụ niile n'otu ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị ndị ọchịchị ga-ekpe ikpe ziri ezi nye onye ọbụla nkwekọrịta gọọmenti na nzaghachi ndị obodo ụmụnne m na ụmụnna m bilie ka anyị bulie Naijiria elu nkwekọrịta dị ọchịchị anyị ga-aza ọnụ obodo anyị ga-eme ya ọ bụ nkwekọrịta anyị na anyị ga-eme ka Naijiria gaa nke ọma Naijiria obodo mmanụ aṅụ na mmiri ara ehi na-asọ ụzọ ọma o ụlọ ọgwụ ọma o ebe obibi ọma o igbo ndị ọma pụtanụ ka anyị yọleba onye agbakwara nke nwanne ya gbara let's go
Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu na Imo anyị na-ekwe nkwa na anyị ga-eso ụzọ asaa na asaa ndị na-achị anyị wepụtara.
Powered by National Orientation Agency.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Apeon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, please just go.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens. Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People television.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Well, hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Political Lens. It's that time of your day where we carefully make you understand how much of the entire political shift in Nigeria, what it looks like and how it is supposed to be. And most importantly, we do this not just alone. Of course, we get our analysts to make sense of the stories that made it to the show today. Well, I bid you welcome to that and to that beautiful moment. I am David Edwin. Today on the show, diplomatic shakeup. Femi Fani Kayode, Reno Mokri, ex-INEC boss, others. Ambassador finally deployed. OPL 245 corruption saga finally ends as Tinubu strikes historic deal with Eni. And of course, NNPCL Gate, 210 trillion naira oil scandal revisited as Senate summons former Group GMD of the NNPCL, Mele Kyari. Well, these are the conversations we'll be having today, and I would only urge you to be a part of these conversations because we know for a fact that you're already with us. But just in case you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, we would urge you to click on that subscription button. On YouTube, we're at Voice of the People TV, and on all other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. And again, I dare say, you can take us anywhere in the world with you. How do you do that? Just go to Google and type www.vop.ng. And I can tell you for a fact that you will be taking us with you anywhere in the world. As Voice of the People TV, your opinion matters to us. Therefore, we will encourage you to call and share your thoughts on the topics that we'll be talking about today. And of course, our WhatsApp portal is very, very open for that particular conversation. And the number is 0904 473 2605. 0904 473 2605. I mean, with us, you have more than a voice. We'll take a very short break right now. When we return, we'll be heading straight to the main conversation. Reno Omokri, Femi Fani Kayode, former INEC boss, and other ambassadors finally gets deployed. We'll be right back with that after now. All right, I'm glad to have you back. Let's get into the main conversation, shall we? President Bola Tinubu has finally approved the posting of 65 ambassadors and high commissioners, 31 career diplomats, and 34 non-career appointees to represent Nigeria across the globe and at the United Nations, ending a frustrating 2-year-plus vacuum in many key missions after all envoys were recalled in 2023. Well, the Senate confirmed the full batch of nominees late last year. And of course, this major rollout includes high-profile non-career names like the former Aviation Minister Femi Fani Kayode heading to Germany, presidential aide, now presidential aide Reno Mokri heading to Mexico, ex-INEC chairman Mahmoud Yakubu is heading to Qatar, Senator Ita Enang to South Africa, and former Castina Governor Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazao is heading to China. With Senator Jimo Ibrahim as permanent representative to the UN, the move comes amid efforts to strengthen Nigeria's foreign ties, securing better trade deals, attract investment, and push national interests on the world stage, especially crucial as the country battles economic challenges and, of course, seeks global partnership. Now, for ordinary Nigerians feeling the pinch of hardship, high cost, and limited opportunities abroad, these postings signals a return to full diplomatic firepower. Well, some would say stronger embassies mean better consular services for citizens overseas, potential boost in remittances as well as tourism and diaspora support. Now, most improved negotiations is seen sometimes from these kind of postings, but for things like debt relief, aid, and export markets as well. The administration described it as a strategic step to project Nigeria's renewed influence
after prolonged delays in filling vacancies with earlier partial postings to the US, UK, France, and others, now expanded into their comprehensive list. I mean, on one hand, critics are questioning the mix of political loyalists in top sports, but supporters hail it as Tinubu's delivery on promises to revamp foreign policy and put capable hands in place to fly the green, white, green flag proudly worldwide. Well, I'm being joined to make sense of these stories in the studio with me this beautiful time out is Dr. Peter Anosike, a philosopher, a journalist, business consultant, and political and public affairs analyst and commentator. Doctor, a very good evening to you, and thank you for joining the conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Also, I'm also being joined virtually by Mr. Adekunle Afolahan, a policy and public affairs analyst and commentator. Mr. Afolahan, Adekunle, thank you so very much for joining, and a very good evening to you this beautiful evening.
Good evening, and thank you for having me. The name is Adefolahan.
Yes, Adefolahan, yes, Adekunle. I sincerely would apologize if I had murdered that name, but I mean, they're supposed to kill me because of my Yoruba connection. Anyways, let's get to the main conversation. And I want to start off with you, Mr. Adekunle. When you saw this list, what was your reaction, first off? And then, what positive do you think this list is going to give to Nigeria as a nation? We're going to go to several angles of this conversation. But first, when you saw this list, what did it bring to her heart? And then, what positive are we likely going to see from this list?
Thank you very much. When I saw the list this evening, not excited because sending ambassadors to our mission is coming late because for government that has been in power for almost 3 years and now sending ambassadors to our mission after recalling them in 2023, I don't think it put us at advantage at the League of Nations. However, having said that, when we saw the list of the nominees last year, this is pure political compensation because there are some that are critical. And I give you an example, sending Ajimobi's wife to Austria, I don't think it put us at advantage. One, in Austria, we have UN office there. In Vienna, there is UN office in Vienna, and Austria is the capital. So we need a professional diplomat that can engage with UN system and other stakeholders. That is one. Two, even if at all you want to compensate people for ambassadorial nomination, there is need for also to look at it critically. Look at Mahmoud that just finished 8 years as INEC chairman. Before coming to INEC, he was executive secretary at the Third Fund. As head of department to Third Fund to INEC. Is it the only one from his state? That can't be possible. So what are you telling Nigerians? That somebody just finished your election, the next appointment you can give the person is to go and be an ambassador in Qatar. So why are we sending them? I say it's late because look at the crisis in the Gulf countries. I visited Qatar last year, December, for UN meeting. No ambassador to welcome us as Nigerians. Other nations' ambassadors came to the UN meeting, welcomed their citizens, engaged them, what to engage the United Nations system with. I went for Conference of State Party of United Nations Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC, in Doha last year, December. No ambassador to welcome Nigeria. The head of delegation was the Minister of Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Nobody welcomed him. Whereas last year, I was in Côte d'Ivoire, joined ECOWAS mission to election. It was a charge to affairs that welcomed our former president who led ECOWAS mission to Cote d'Ivoire in October last year. Chargé d'affaires, normal civil servant in Nigeria House in Abidjan, welcome Professor Yemi Osinbajo and the ECOWAS team that we visited the country during their election. So it's so embarrassing that Nigerians will travel. The first place of contact is to get to Nigeria House and see who and who are there, who is going to welcome us, who are we going to relate with. So for the past 2.5 years, we are not enjoying that. Now look at the incident that happened between Nigerian government and American government. As we have an ambassador in US, that diplomatic discussion will have happened. So why now? Why now? Because election is coming. And I think in this country, there is for us to have either a policy or if you have been elected, you shouldn't be appointed again. Now there's going to be called for by-election in where Jim Ibrahim comes from now.
Right.
There's going to be by-election. We are just almost 1.5 years to the general election, and you are now appointed a sitting senator to be an ambassador to UN House. Now there will be by-election within 90 days. Look at the cost of election in Nigeria. He has been elected. Why can't you allow him to finish his tenure and pick another person from Ondo State? Do you get it? So that is how we are wasting public resources, because INEC will call for election now in Jimo Ibrahim Senatorial District. And like that, former governors that have been compensated because they are aligned with the Minister of FCT. You are seeing person like former governor of Enugu State, former governor of Abia State, just to compensate them. Is that how we are just deceiving ourselves that they are going to mobilize the resources, they are going to bring investors? Which investors they are bringing? Why can't you make home better? Let the issue of insecurity get out of our problem. Issue of light, we should fix it. Investors will look for us. Do we need to be looking for investors? How many times do we see American president looking for investors? Why can't we make the environment to be conducive? Then investors will look for us. So to me, I see the list as jamboree as usual, giving Reno Mokri an ambassador, giving people like Fanika Ode an ambassador. What are they bringing to the table?
All right, then. Thank you so very much, Mr.
Look at
for your submission. I'm still going to come back to you, but let me bring it to the studio here. Doctor, same question is what I'm going to ask, because I want to just start off this conversation on the very simple platter. When you saw that list, what was your first statement that came to your head and your mind? And then what's the positivity?
Disappointment. When I saw that list, the first word that came to my head is disappointment, because that's not even up to second. You know, in a football match, we have those that are on the bench.
Right.
But the most important is they wear the jersey of their team. This group, none deserve to wear jersey. None deserve to be on the bench.
Why do you say so?
They were not appointed on merit. No, they were not appointed on merit. None of them was appointed on merit. Understand? This is just a reward for helping to rig an election, a reward for helping to manipulate an election. Understand me? So none of them there.
No level of meritocracy, none of any of this?
Mention one. Just mention one of them. So this is just a compensation for helping to manipulate an election, helping to rig an election. Understand me? Who merited it there? So for me, this is just and even they have been appointed, but the countries where they are going to have the right to say I accept or reject.
Right.
Because ordinarily, they're not. This government has about not more than a year in office. So which means you are appointing people who will not stay up to a year before the administration ends.
Now that is another concern because Mr. Adekunle also mentioned Senator Jimoh Ibrahim being the permanent representative to the UN in that same list. And this is a man who, again, is supposed to be in the Senate. Now, is it possible that he so deserved to be in that list from the part of the presidency to wanting to take him off a senatorial seat, representing the people who elected him?
For Jimoh, I know that he lobbied for it to be in the UN. Understand me? He lobbied for it to be in the United Nations, but because he has been there as a director for many years. Understand me? Jimoh Ibrahim has been there as a director for many years. Even he has been in Dubai for donkey years, working with the UN. Understand me? So, but I'm not talking about Nigeria. I'm talking about where they are posted.
Okay.
Countries always want people who will come and stay a minimum of 3 years. That's what countries want, because a year wouldn't give you such a time to know about the country, their policies, their programs, and so on and so forth.
So what does this imply in the global image of the Nigerian country, as it were? What does this imply in the global image now with these kind of decisions from the presidency and, of course, this posting?
Let us start with the country first. Tinubu don't want to be seen as has failed some people. Understand me? He don't want to, because a nation is coming, that's January and December next year, less than a month now, because we are in March. A nation is coming, that's in the first month, that's of 2027. And many people have been saying, Mr. President, you have abandoned me, you have abandoned me. Understand me? I know many people in the APC Presidential Campaign Council who have not gotten anything from this government. So they have been mounting pressure. So Tinubu was now forced to at least do something. Understand me?
Okay.
Let me just announce these people, commission them, whether they are accepted or not is no more his business.
Now, before I go back to Mr. Adekunle, he did say something that, I mean, you are also corroborating it, that this clearly looks like...
looks like.
It
is a compensation for a job well done for the president.
Now,
it did not follow any merit.
Now, why are political loyalists prioritized over seasoned diplomats? Because you would recall when the situation between the U.S. and Nigeria being, redesignated came up, it was the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Toga Yusuf, that was voicing and was in the forefront. So
they didn't listen to his interviews. He was bad marketing Nigeria. And understand me, I listened to his interviews both with BBC, with CNN, and with our own channels. Right. There was no coherency. There was no consistency. He was not even answering the questions correct, even though there's nothing much he will have done. Because America has their data about Nigeria.
Now, with this particular list and, of course, the posting right now, is there the possibility that we are clearly losing seasoned diplomats that are in Nigeria that are supposed to be on that list and there are not? And speaking clearly from the part of the Foreign Affairs Ministry now, because there are some that have complained about that.
There are people that are trained for this. There are people that have studied diplomacy, international relations, and so on and so forth. Understand? Because immediately you are appointed and announced to a country, just like Mexico. What the Mexicans would do immediately is to Google Reno Omokri's CV to know who he is. Understand me?
Right.
Germany, what Germans would do is to Google his statements, all processes and so forth, to know who, because in the modern world, it is useless asking somebody, who are you, what are you doing? Understand me? Just if it comes to you, what you have to do is just confirmation of the information that you already have about him, which you have got from the internet. And when you Google this kind of people, what do you see? Understand me? What do you see? Negativity. Understand me? But still, they will still face problems in the countries that they are going to.
How?
1 year, many countries will not accept an ambassador coming for just 1 year to their country.
Okay, let me go back to Mr. Adekunle. Same question I want to ask. As it stands, are we clearly losing our seasoned diplomats? Because again, the foreign ministry sometime was complaining about this list before it went to the Senate. And whether we like it or not, the list is already out and these guys have been posted. What's the implication of this kind of list and the posting? Plus the fact that Dr. here did say some countries might just not accept representative from Nigeria that will just spend over a year in their country.
I think, yes, they will not even take us serious. That is one thing. Because when League of Nations are discussing and they are discussing issue around security, trade, agriculture, and what have you, and Nigeria is sending representative, a civil servant from Foreign Affairs Ministry, civil servants who are posted to mission houses. So, and now sending ambassadors that will go and spend 1 year and 6 months. It's going to take him 9 months to even get to the country. Is it to understand their system, their process, and what have you? So no country will take us serious the way this government is handling diplomatic issue. And that is why I mentioned issue of Ajimobi's wife being sent to Austria. And this is where things happening when it comes to discussions in UN system. If it is not happening in Geneva, it's not happening in New York, it will happen in Vienna. So what is he bringing to the table when seasoned diplomats are talking? We have made ourselves to look like Jankara ambassadors. That is the way I look at them. What is Iguayi is bringing to the table? Somebody that cannot manage Enugu State conveniently. So, Tinubu administration has made us to look as if we don't have people that can deliver. Issue around diplomacy is beyond just sending politicians in the name of you want to, because it requires diplomatic engagement that cut across issues at high level. You are sending Ajimobi's wife to Austria. You are sending Reno Omokri to Mexico. Even to understand, to start, in Mexico they are not speaking English, so they speak Spanish.
Yes.
Taking time. We had the last conference of the International Bar Association in Mexico in 2023. We were there. Fagbemi led the Nigerian delegation then too. Tambua and co. We find it difficult to even communicate. We have to rely on Google Translate to engage with them. So what is Reno Omokri is going to take to Mexico? So those are the issues that we need to look at, because countries will not even take us serious. And like Dr. Anosike said, they can be sent back because they have right to say, okay, I want you, I don't want you. So that one is still there. So it's not all of them that will be accepted.
Oh, wow.
So they will start to retreat. They said the Minister of Foreign Affairs should start retreat and orientation for them as from next week. That will take another another days before they will start packing their loads. Some countries are not accessible now, especially in the Gulf countries.
Right.
Israel, the person sent to Israel. What will you go and do in Israel now? The same thing people that are sent to Gulf countries like Qatar and co. So how will they access it? So because now fear of going there now, we are in Ramadan period, they will wait. Salah is coming. By that time, they will have finished their primaries, the political party primaries. You can see that they don't even have up to a year, because none of them will resume fully until around June, July. So that is, you can see that we are not serious as a nation
now,
because we play with a lot of things that we're supposed to do.
All right.
So I think we need to change that pattern.
Let me still stay with you before I return back to the studio and ask Doctor about his former governor. Now, interestingly as it stands, what I want to talk about is on the part of institution. The Senate did approve this gentleman, and the question now would be of what meritorial class did the Senate use as a yardstick to approve this gentleman to be ambassadors to represent Nigeria? You just mentioned the Ibrahim Jimo situation, and of course the other woman going to Austria. Of what merit did the Senate use to approve this gentleman to become ambassadors for Nigeria?
Which Senate? The 10th Senate that I just said rubber stamping, that can stamp anything that Mr. President, do they even take time to even scrutinize them? Look at the question that El-Rufai asked them recently when he had his first interview on Arise recently, his first interview after he left office. He said they should bring the DSS report that indicted him. Can they bring it out? Do they even do any scrutiny? If they do scrutiny in this country, we will not have a situation where a minister will be asked to resign or remove because he forged certificate. Nobody scrutinized anything, especially this 10th Senate. What do? They rubber stamp. Anything goes with them. Do they have time to even check them? Most of them still have fights with ICC, EFCC. A governor of immediate governor of Enugu State, governor of Abia State. Nobody, it's not this that they didn't scrutinize anything. Rather, they just say, okay, it's for my state. Their senator will just come to them and say, okay, and they endorse them. That's what they are doing. And that is why one of the yardstick that is supposed to set is that you must have at least knowledge about international relations and diplomacy before you can be part of this list. If you don't have it, go and sit down, because engaging with other countries is not child play, but we have turned it to child play in Nigeria. That is why we can have people that always be on social media, on Twitter, to go and represent us in Mexico.
All right, let me bring this conversation. Let me bring this conversation back to the studio while we wrap up and get to another conversation. Dr. Okezie Ikpeazu has been posted to Spain. Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi has been posted to Athens in Greece. These two gentlemen, now I'm not even going to talk about Reno Omarkri going to Mexico and Fani Kayode going to Germany. Of what, the same question I'm going to ask you, of what meritorial yardstick did the Senate clearly use to approve these gentlemen? Now, if your submission is going to be same thing with Mr. Dekunle, how can the Nigerian Power Police get it right even with the Senate? So we don't have to have these kind of set of people again in the Senate.
What qualified the Ugwuanyi and the Okezie Ikpeazu to be ambassadors is that they were members of the G5. Understand me? So that's their only qualification, being members of the G5. Because
how is that even possible, Doctor? Because I feel
that's the only qualification. That is their only qualification. That's what qualifies them to be made Nigerian ambassadors. Any other thing? No other thing. Not even a rigging election, they couldn't even rig, because you cannot rig where you are not popular. Understand me? If you want to go to rig where you are popular, they will kill you. Understand? So they couldn't even rig, because Okezie Ikpeazu failed lost his own word in his bid to go to the Senate. Ugwuanyi, as a sitting governor, lost in his own word in his bid to go to the Senate. This is a governors for 8 years losing in their word. This shows you how, let me use that word, how useless, how unpopular they are. Understand me? Because I cannot be a governor for even a year and lose my own word.
So if that is the situation,
so
Doctor,
their only qualification is being members of the G5, and Nyesom Wike has to go to Tinubu, I beg, compensate by people. They don't have any job again. Understand me? Compensate, find somewhere, put them. Find somewhere, put them.
Now, Doctor, the part that really gets at me, I want to find out from you, if this is practically the situation that got them that nomination and, of course, the approval by the Senate, how then should the Nigerian Senate, who are supposed to be representing the Nigerian populace, approve such people who are so unpopular with their people?
Look, assuming that Abubakar Shekau is alive and Tinubu sent his name to the Senate, this Senate would approve him.
You talk with so much surety.
I'm telling you, assuming that Abubakar Shekau is alive today and Tinubu sent his name to the Senate for any position, this Senate would approve him within 24 hours, as long as it comes from the president.
Doctor, in less than maybe 1 minute, how can the Nigerian populace get it right with these kind of conversation? Because clearly, it's looking more like the Senate is not working for the Nigerian people.
They're not. The Senate is just a department of the executive. The 10th Senate is just a department of the executive, or the worst Senate that we have seen since 1999.
Doctor, I was going to ask you on the part of returns in remittance and the economy in the countries that these people are going to, and of course, FDI as well. Should we be expectant as an economist?
One, Nigerians abroad don't like these people being sent to them. Understand me? Nigerians in Mexico will not welcome Reno or Mockery. Because even Nigerians abroad know about Nigeria than many of us who are in this country. Every day, they read news of what's happening in Nigeria. So they will not do any business with them. Understand me?
Yes.
They will not, because they know the reason why they were appointed. So they will not want to do any business with them. So if they ever, assuming that they are accepted by these countries, assuming, what they will start doing is a kind of the reconciliation with the Nigerian community in those countries. I beg, accept me. Understand me? I beg, accept me.
Oh, well, because of our time, really, we need to jump to another conversation. And some part of me is trying to also jump to that third conversation because of our time. And yes, I'm going to go there. In a major development rocking Nigeria's oil sector, the Senate's Public Accounts Committee has summoned former NNPC Limited boss, I'm talking about Mele Kyari, and his top team over alleged 210 trillion naira in unexplained financial discrepancies spanning from 2017 to 2023. Committee Chairman Senator Ali Wadada revealed that the probe uncovered 103 trillion listed as vague accrued expenses with no breakdown, and another 107 trillion in mysterious sundry receivables supposedly owed by defunct banks, money that belonged to everyday Nigerians from our crude oil wealth. Even more shocking, the panel slammed the 5.9 billion blown on simply rebranding the old NNPC to the new NNPC Limited, with 2.9 billion quietly deducted from petrol sales proceeds and another 2.9 billion from crude oil revenues, all just to change the company's name after it became a commercial entity. Now, the senators are demanding an immediate refund of the full 210 trillion naira, calling the explanation unacceptable and pointing to other red flags like the 3.8 trillion in duplicated fuel subsidy claims and a 5 trillion wrongly charged as production cost, even though NNPC does not drill oil. They have also ordered a full forensic audit and invited Kyari alongside ex-CFO Omar Ajia, ex-NAPIP's boss, Bala Wunti, current management, and the external auditors to appear before the committee without delay. Well, this is a situation with the Senate vowing to put up full accountability and, of course, to stop the rot. Let me start this conversation with Mr. Adekunle. I've been reeling out billions and trillions. And one thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is supposed to be what should be going into the coffers of the federal government. The one that struck me really surprising is the 2.9 billion naira just for change of name from NNPC to NNPCL. Help Nigerians make sense of this situation. Plus, do you also think the person of Mele Kyari would be coming to face the Senate committee on this matter?
Thank you very much. Let's look at it from this angle, whether they call it rebranding or no rebranding. Very unfortunate. What are they doing in NNPCL? That they are rebranding and spending that huge amount of money. But unfortunately, my dear brother, in the country that we are, I can tell you that what the committee is doing, Public Finance Committee led by Senator Ali Wadada, they are just doing jamboree in the sense that I want to preempt what will happen and tell you today. Ali Wadada is aspiring to be the governor of Nasarawa State. And this is one of the things they are going to use to shock him that he shouldn't go further on that investigation. Otherwise, he will lose the ticket to become the governor of Nasarawa State. And I give you an example of what happened. Are you aware that Senator Goje is still in National Assembly, in the 10th Assembly? He wanted to contest for Senate President when it was zoned to Northeast in the 9th Assembly. And what they did in the APC was that we have to use this case in the EFCC to negotiate to allow another senator from Northeast, from Yobe North, in the person of Senator, the immediate Senate President. He was from Yobe State. He came from Yobe State. And they silenced Goje not to contest so that his case in the EFCC will be shut down. And that is exactly what happened. So now what Wadada and his committee is doing, they are just doing jamboree. At the end of the day, they will call them and say, come on, you can't go further on this, otherwise you lose the ticket. And that is what will happen. And let us ask ourselves, which ad hoc committee of National Assembly has done the outcome has led this country to refund or whatever. So they are just playing, you know what we call Baba Salah. That is what they are doing. Unfortunately, we are in this mess. Look at the billions you are rolling out. Ordinary Nigerians are suffering. So it is not new, and it is not only in NNPCL. It is everywhere.
Oh wow!
Look at what happened at Neiti. If you write ordinary FY request to NNPC, they will tell you can't even drop the letter in the group managing director's office. They will collect it at the gate, and they will not stamp it for you. This is personal experience I had with them. When we were asking for, when Mele Kyari was even the general manager, crude, not even as group managing director, when he was in crude, that was when we were trying to investigate issue of a metering of the volume of our crude that they were exporting then. Mele Kyari then was group manager then in crude. They would just collect letter at the gate without stamping it. And no matter how you send reminder to them, they will not respond to you. Is it the agency that will not respond to ordinary FOI requests that National Assembly, that are rubber stamp, want to investigate? They just want to create money for themselves, to invite some people who sit down, eat granite and garden egg and drink Fafa Life. That's what they want to do. So they are going to use it to settle political discussion. That is what I see. There's nothing that is going to come out of it.
Oh, wow. Let me bring this conversation to
and be taken over by the Attorney General of the Federation. Probably that is where it's going to end if care is not taken. So that is the kind of thing we find ourselves.
Right. All right, then. Let me bring this conversation back to the studio. Doctor, 210 trillion. I mean, the present budget of 2026 is about 54 trillion. And we're talking about a figure that would span all through maybe another 4 years, should that be in the coffers of the federal government. The part where 2.9 billion naira, doctor, was used to change a name. You're an economist.
To add L. L is a very expensive word, from NNPC to NNPCL. So that 2.9 billion is to add L.
As much as this strikes like a very strong sarcasm on your part, this is supposed to be Nigeria's wealth. What's your position with this story? Let me even start.
The issue is this, my friend in Abuja said, this is just a jamboree. Understand me? It is just a jamboree. And if Medekiari opens up, the country will burn. And they know that. If the NNPC and GMD opens up,
former GMD,
what is happening in the downstream sector, it will overthrow even the president and everybody around him. Understand me? Over 90% of Nigeria billionaires made their money through oil, are not in the right way. And Medekiari has this information. Understand me? Medekiari has this information. He knows who has done what in the downstream sector. That was why the last time the Senate invited him, he told them that at the right time, he will come and tell them, understand, what is happening. And they couldn't compel him to say anything. Even these guys, the Senate has a Senate committee on downstream sector, Senate committee on upstream, who are supposed to be doing oversight.
Right.
Understand me? If oversight is actually going on, why did this money get up to this stage? Because it's not money that was stolen in 1 year. Understand me?
Yes, 2013 to 2023.
Which means the committees are not doing their job.
It's quite interesting, really,
okay.
Doctor.
In 2022, NNPCL said that they used 200 billion for wages. 2022, 200 billion for wages. The Senate couldn't ask them, what is your staff strength? Understand? What is your, let us see the people that earn this 200 billion. That question was not asked. In the same 2022, they said that they used 250 billion naira for turnaround maintenance. And not even a liter of fuel was refined. The committee that is in charge of oversight function did not ask because all of them were afraid. All of them were guilty. Understand me? So for me, this is just the committee may sit, they said let us send it to the subcommittee, and that's where everything will end.
Now, this is becoming really worrisome because Mr. Adekunle also is sharing such sentiment. And the fact that this is not the first time it's happening. Under President Jonathan's administration as well, in 2012, the subsidy probe, the House of Representatives uncovered a 1.07 trillion in fraudulent subsidy claim. Now, that particular probe did not see the light of the day afterwards.
Because none of them were guilty. Both those in National Assembly, they knew that round tripping was going on.
At the time?
They knew that round tripping was going on. People would just come with an empty tank, mark good for themselves. Understand me? Go to the bend, come back with the same tanker, mark good. They know that thing was going on. Understand me? And both those in power now and those in power then knew what was going on. That's why I said over 90% of Nigeria billionaires made their money through oil and not through the right way.
Okay, now, while we wrap up this conversation, because honestly, we're really pressed for time and I really have so much to ask, let me go back to Mr. Adekunle. This particular figure, the 210 trillion, started from 2017 to 2023. I mean, we've heard the likes of Ojulari said, it did not happen under my tenure. What do you think this implies? Some say this is trying to shame the administration of the late Muhammadu Buhari, but some are also saying it is the same APC. And again, like Doctor said, these people are involved in this situation. How then do we unpack all of this? And what should be done to maybe the committee chairman, I'm talking about Senator Ali Wadada, should he keep this quiet, just like there was one that was kept quiet under former President Goodluck Jonathan as well?
Exactly, that is what is going to happen. I just mentioned to you, Wadada is looking for governor of Nasarawa State. And by the time they will do 2 or 3 telephone calls, you will see that that tension will reduce. And it's not new that our National Assembly failed Nigerians, because if they are performing their role, statutory role of oversighting, one of the role of parliamentarian beyond lawmaking is to go on oversight. And during oversight, you are to see how appropriated funds are being used. But is it the committee that NNPC will be the one that will buy their tickets, pay for their hotel accommodation, send the driver to come and pick them with SUVs, that we identify gaps in their spending? The answer is no. My dear brother, they will not even give them naira. They will give them in foreign currency. So that if at all they will go for such oversight, they will go and snap picture with the head of such agency, take picture and go. So it's because they are not doing the right thing. That is why we are here. Ojulari saying it's not under his tenure. If you scrutinize that flow very well, don't be surprised. Ojulari might have been beneficiary because he is in the sector, he's an expert, might have been one of the consultants they even used to move the money that time. Don't be surprised. So revealing that they use that huge of amount to do whatever they use it for is not new to Nigerians. And that is why in 2027, Nigerians need to wake up. We need to wake up. The NNPC fraud is just one out of many. Go to other agencies, go and see what is happening. Look at the issue refilled by Dangote in NMDRC. Do you hear anything about Nuprik versus Dangote again? At a point, the petition was withdrawn. Nothing happened again. So that is, we are used to it in this country. So it's not new, my dear brother. It's not new. Look at what happened in FAN. Are they telling us that proper consultation was not carried out before they introduced that cashless policy to the situation that Mr. President asked them to stop that? What of people like us? I got that cashless, that card last year, November or December. If I get December, at Abuja Airport, and I preloaded it with huge amount of money. Now they have cancelled it. What happened to my money that I've preloaded? What happened to my money that I've been preloaded?
Quite unfortunate.
I know how much I preloaded on that card,
Quite unfortunate.
on that fan card.
Because
so now, to let you know that our problem is systemic, we are not consistent in our policies and programs. That is why we are messing up. What we are doing, we can't even link it with what we have signed on with Nigerians. So that is the major problem. Our problem is systemic.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Adekunle, for that submission. Let me bring it back to the student, of course, get the concluding thoughts of Dr. Peter. Economic interest in all of this. We're still looking for FDIs. Is foreign direct investment going to come with this level of misappropriation of funds? Let me use the very mildest word.
One, Buhari toyed for 8 years, understand, traversing the whole world, and none comes. Understand me? You don't beg for investors to come. You attract them, and you can only attract them with infrastructure in your country. You don't beg them to come. You attract them, and you can only attract them with infrastructure in your country, no cost of energy.
So with this misappropriation, nothing would come afterwards.
And again, you must have a transparent judicial system. No investor will go in a country where the judiciary is corrupt. Understand me? No investor will go in a country that you are getting this kind of news on a daily basis.
Dr. Peter, I would love to continue this conversation, honestly, because I want to act on the part of institution, the police, the EFCC as well. After all of these, so much to ask. But unfortunately, this is where we have to draw anchor on the show today. And we've been talking with Dr. Peter Anosike, philosopher, journalist, business consultant, and of course, political and public affairs analyst and commentator. Thank you so very much, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
Also, a big thank you to you as well, Mr. Adekunle Adefolahan, policy and public affairs analyst and commentator. Thank you so very much for being here. We appreciate you.
For having me.
All right, then, on behalf of my entire backroom staff, the technical director, the bars manager, the sound engineer, and of course, the Ingest manager, I want to say a big thank you to you out there that have taken your time to see the show today. Up next at the top of the hour is The Issues with Nina Ndumdito. I am David Edwin, and I'm saying do have a pleasant evening rest.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Bama Kore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
All right, hello, it's about that shagging the man from back with Melanie Poppy Black Skin Boy. This is VOP TV. If you're not watching VOP, I don't know what you're watching. Maybe you're watching your weight. Bye.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Wale Ojo, and you're watching VOP, Voice of the People.
Hi, guys. You already know who it is. This is New Energy. Flyers whatever live. Keep watching VOP TV. Thank you.
Hi, people. Ginny Albano here. Guys, please keep watching Voice of the People.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Hello, Nigeria. It's another exciting episode of the Issues on Voice of the People Television. I will bring you the most important and pressing issues shaping our nation today. I am your host, Nenna Ndomdiotob. It's a new week and, of course, the first edition of the Issues this week. Today on the Issues, we're examining the complexities of Nigeria's politics and governance. From Dangote refinery increase in petrol to 1,620 naira per litre, to appeal court nullifying PDP convention. Also, ABGA asked Abaribe and Ikweche to vacate seats. Finally, Mogalo describes Buala's interview as damaging to Nigeria's image. Join us as we break down the fact and provide context to help you stay informed. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll dig deeper into these topics. Don't go away. Glad to have you back. Let's dive straight into today's discussion. Fuel prices may be heading upward once again as the Dangote refinery has reportedly increased the ex-depot price of petrol to 1,175 naira per litre and diesel to 1,620 naira per litre. The latest revision marks the fourth consecutive price review in less than 2 weeks amid global market volatility. The increases coincide with a sharp rise in international crude benchmarks as of today, which is due to the Middle East energy crisis. The adjustment, according to industry reports, represents another upward review in fuel pricing and could have significant implications for transport costs, goods, and general living expenses across the country. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by two esteemed guests. Here in the studio, we have Dr. Peter Anosike. Dr. Anosike is a philosopher, development economist, and best-selling author. He's also an erudite commentator on economy, finance, politics, and power. He's also the author of the most talked about book titled Abuse of Power, How Democracy Turned into Tyranny of the Few. Glad to have you join us. You did not give me your signature smell. Your signature smell for Mondays, because I know that usually on Mondays there's this special smell that comes to your face.
I feel I have more energy.
You have more energy. You have more energy. Okay, that's why that smell usually comes.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you have some hours of your own, and that's on Sunday, Monday you are refreshed.
Okay, that's in some cases anyways, because sometimes some persons are not refreshed on Mondays. But let's leave that. I've joined us virtually. We have Fimba Ajegu. He is the chairman, Safety Engineers, Anambra State, and member, Nigeria Society of Engineers. And also he is a public affairs analyst. Glad to have you join us, Fimba.
Thank you very much. And I'm pleased to be here. Thank you very much, listeners. And my dear friend, Anosike, welcome.
Okay, let's start with you. Once again, we are having an increase in fuel price. And, this is like the fourth time that the price of petrol is going to be increased, and Nigerians are already crying foul. What I want to ask you, if Nigerians say that if we refine fuel locally, why are petrol prices still rising instead of falling? Are we not supposed to be enjoying a boom as a result of this Iran crisis?
Yes. Thank you very much once again. Currently, the crisis is a very interconnected one. It's quite unfortunate that our refineries, which have been invested, funds have been invested for over many years, are not functional at all. I'm talking about the one at Warri, the one at Port Harcourt, and then Kaduna. It's unfortunate that their capacities are almost in the investment and the oil company in Lagos. I think all the challenges, of course, which you will be going through at this point in time, going to be coming from the production, exchange, and economical factors, which empirically are having effect on what we will be experiencing. It's quite unfortunate that the crisis as well, which is taking place far beyond the shores of our country, is also indirectly having an effect on the oil output, and then on the production, and at the same time our consumption. I think what it shows is that Nigeria over time should have been into full-time production, because if we have committed so much energy and funding and expertise, and the infrastructure has been developed and sustained, I think the prices over a few days. You just have from 850 to 900, and then 1,000, now 1,200. Who knows what tomorrow will be? It's unfortunate.
Who knows what tomorrow will be? Okay, let me come to Dr. Anosike. I'll come back to you, Fimba. Dr. Anosike, I know that this Iran, it looks like it's just 1 week after this crisis has started, and we have seen our fuel price increase up to 4 times. Dangote is saying that he's not taking everything, he's not getting everything he needs from Nigeria, that he has to import for outside the country. That's why these prices are being increased like this. What do you make of it? And then I heard recently that NNPC is saying they don't have, looks like they've sold out crude oil in advance, sort of. I don't know if you heard that. But what do you make of this? Why are we in this scenario, in this situation at this point where we're supposed to, like I asked him, but we're supposed to be enjoying and trying to we should sort of like, I don't want to say try to gain from this crisis, but that is what it should be.
Ordinarily, assuming that Nigeria is being properly run, this is supposed to be oil boom in Nigeria, and we've had this thing just 2 different other times. When between 1974 and 1975, understand, when Gowon was the head of state, at the time price of oil shot up, and Nigeria was making so much money. Understand? That was why Gowon said that our problem, Nigeria's problem, is not money but how to spend it. Understand? So, and he was saying that because he's not a businessman. If he's a businessman, that would have been the time to invest. So that money got wasted. So another time was under Babangida, when we have there was crisis at the Gulf region. Then when we have the oil windfall, which was also stolen. Understand? So the issue is this, why this is happening is because, one, Muhammadu Buhari sold our crude that's in advance. Understand me? He sold our crude in advance. So the ones that are coming, Dangote is taking some, and some are being used for debt payments. So as we speak, Dangote is not even getting up to 50,000 barrels of crude. Over 70% of the crude that Dangote is using is being imported. So that's why the war is affecting us. Assuming that we are producing in full capacity, we are not owing any country crude, and we are refining here. It will not affect us as much as it's affecting us now. Because if Dangote can fix its price at 1,175, it means some parts of the country, petrol is now selling about 1,500, 1,400. Now, we are just like any other country that don't have crude oil. Understand? We are just like any other country that don't have crude oil, which is very, very unfortunate. So Dangote crude, he's not even getting up to 25% from Nigeria as we speak. So that's why what can happen to a non-OPEC country will happen to us.
Okay, if I hear you correctly, you're saying it's one of the reasons we're in this situation is government not doing the right thing.
That's our downstream sector not being properly run.
Managed.
The crude being sold in advance.
Okay, some persons have advocated that there's an urgent need for the government to ensure local refining. Do you think that can solve the problem?
Local refining is if the crude is there, but the crude is not there. Understand me? The crude is not there. The only refinery that we have is not even seeing enough of the crude. So our own edition is not even giving Dangote up to 40% of what he needs. You see, so that's the problem. And I'm not even sure of when this crisis is going to end. Because since Israel has started bombing their oil facilities, it means that the price of oil is going to increase more.
You just took me to my next question. I was going to ask you, actually going to ask our virtual guest that, seeing how it looks like just a week plus into the war or into the crisis, and we are where we are today, what impact does it think? How does it think we're going? How does it think this would impact us if we get to have more weeks into this particular war? But let's narrow it down before I even come to him. Let's narrow it down to the crisis. Let's look at the crisis. You know, I spoke to you about this crisis last week, and you actually said it was a wise decision. But, you know, looking at what is happening now, the fact that there's so much crisis, and of course, oil prices have gone high, like we already know, and then some very important facilities have been hit in the Middle East. Do you really think that this crisis was a wise decision? Do you think that America really thought this through before going into this?
Killing Ayatollah is one of the best decisions that that America and Israel has taken. And for me, he should have been killed more than 20 years ago. Ayatollah should have been killed more than 20. So I'm not even happy that he was alive up to the 10 days ago, understand? So because Iran is behind all the terrorism in the world, understand? Everywhere in the world, what Iran is doing is using their resources to be they are behind the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, and so on and so forth. Understand me? And even if we check, they can also be behind this swap. So the only way is to stop them. So I'm happy with his killing. It's a very good thing.
Irrespective of what we are facing at the moment in the world.
For me, it's temporal. It's temporal.
Temporal. Okay, let me go to our virtual guest. Dr. Anosike is saying that it's temporal. I don't know if you share the same view. There's so much happening. Nigerians already crying, already feeling the impact of this particular crisis. That's why the fact that we are far away from Iran and we're already feeling it. And of course, the world is also feeling this impact one way or the other. There are many countries that have been hit by this particular incident. What do you make of it? Do you think that it's a wise decision? Or do you also share the same views with Dr. Anosike that it's just temporal and in the face of something that was very, very good?
In fact, situations like these, of course, are classified as temporal because the leadership of the United States of America took the bull by the horn. Before I go further, let me just make a little comment about the modular refineries. You see, one other problem which Nigeria is going through for the modular refineries. When I mean modular refineries, these small refineries which in the Niger Delta areas and in the southern, some other southern parts of our country, we have individuals whom have developed a local technology where you can refine a crude oil, perhaps not very much 100% pure, but they have a local understanding of how they can refine crude oil. And then from there, if they've been supported, if they've been given opportunity to do more research, I think vis-a-vis with collaboration with our universities, University of Petroleum and the rest of the likes, I think we would have improved over the years. That be on the side. I think the attack on the Iranian society, which the American government, in collaboration with the Israeli government, have done, it is very timely. I also think perhaps over the years they did not come when it should have come. Like my friend said, he's pleased that the supreme leader, the Ayatollah, has been taken out. It's quite unfortunate that a lot of efforts have been made to reach out to the supreme leader of Iran, the Ayatollah Khamenei, who America and Israel have thought wise that he's the one that has been leading most of this. He has been behind most of these terrorist sponsoring from funds and from proceeds of oil, which they've gotten over the years. They have been sponsoring terrorism across various continents and the nations. It's a very good one that he has been taken out, and it is not yet over, because I know they have disciples. They have a lot of people who are fanatics, and they have the same ideology, and they think that by taking Ayatollah out, that is only the end of it. No, you're going to have a lot of more pockets of crisis which will be coming up over the coming years. I think the campaign of fight on terrorism is still continuing. It continues because sincerely, terrorism has come to stay in so many fronts. It must be fought tooth and nail from all fronts too as well. All nations have to put their hands on deck to see that they fight terrorism, because from terrorism they get proceeds from oil. People like Iran and the likes, they sponsor such kind of programs, and then they want to see where they can continue to manipulate many other countries. But it's quite unfortunate that the current president of America took the bull by the horn in collaboration with the Israeli government. So I think the impact of what is going on in that Iranian axis and corridor has affected the output of oil, because currently the Strait of Hormuz, which is a popular destination and the harbor where people have access to oil to various other countries and nations, it has been damaged in so many ways, and it's going to be making access to oil for many countries. And at the same time, with the war going on, batches, most of these vessels who are able to carry and bring oil down for processing and take output to various countries, it becomes a very difficult one. Our country as well will be affected, because we also make use of these imported oils, and at the same time our production here, which we've not maximized the crude oil which we produce, which we get, we've not really maximized it. But I'm hopeful that all those who are involved within our country will do more patriotically to see that we restore production, and at the same time minimize the effect of these oil damages.
Okay, while we were speaking, you made mention of the fact that despite the fact that Ayatollah has been taken off the scene, that he would have definitely there will be fanatics, or people who have the same ideology. And of course, one of the things that US is saying, he's saying that he wants a total regime change. But that seemed not to be happening, as Iran has actually named the late Ayatollah's son as their supreme leader. And from what we have heard, this man seems to be worse than his father. And of course, when you even look at the fact that he's grieving, he lost his father, he lost his daughter, he lost his wife in this particular bombing. Don't you think that this is like from fry pan to fire, like we always say in Nigerian parlance?
Yes, we live a lot of expectations from the incoming leadership, the son of Khamenei Ayatollah, who has passed on. His son, I think, if he's very wise, which I'm hoping, if he's very intelligent, he will see and understand that the crisis which has degenerated the quality of nation which his father led many years wrongfully, as will continue to degenerate and become worse off if he continues with such ideology. If he is wise, he should have a new leaf, and at the same time take advantage of people rallying around him and give them the right direction and the best direction, which many nations and countries are looking up to, that a good leadership will come out of Iran. At this particular time, they have lost a lot, and if he continues to go in the direction of which his father was going, I think they have a lot more to lose. So I'm very hopeful that many countries are watching, and they probably at this point as we speak, a lot of consultations are reaching out to him to see that he takes a U-turn in another direction that is better, that will give Iranians a new life, a new era of development and progress. I'm very hopeful that he should look in that direction.
Okay, thank you. Let me come back to Tanosike. Tanosike, I still want to talk about this new supreme leader. He's saying that he hopes that he turns a new lead, doesn't follow the same path that his father has told. And this is someone that, from the reports about him, he's part of this Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and we know how these people are. And then now he is. Do you see him actually not stowing the same line his father has told?
For me, I don't know where you get that narrative that he's worse than his father, because he has never been elected to any position. He has not held any post in Iran. He has been enjoying his life. Both his he's one of those that I enjoy. He is riding one of the best cars in UK. He has a lot of properties in Dubai. The Ayo standards worth $95 billion. Understand me? So this guy cannot, because he has enjoyed, understand me, he cannot continue that on his father's part. Okay. Understand me? That's in the next 2 weeks, you confirm this thing that I said. He and his father don't have the same upbringing. His father was in the gutters, was in the trenches. Understand? Now, you said the 1979 revolution and become the supreme leader, and since then have been stealing his people, their people's resources, while his children have been enjoying it. Understand? So this guy was brought up in comfort, so he cannot do his father's at all. To watch it.
Okay, well, of course, we'll see how this particular one gets to unfold. Let's move on. Let's come back to more issues happening in Nigeria. We are now moving on to politics. The Court of Appeal of Nigeria has affirmed an earlier judgment barring the Independent National Electoral Commission from validating the National Convention of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Recall that an October 31 judgment by Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja had restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, from recognizing the outcome of the National Convention planned by the PDP for Ibadan, Oyo State on November 15 and 16. In a unanimous judgment on Monday, the court held that the appeal by the PDP was without merit, that the Federal High Court was right to have delivered the judgment and granted all the relief sought by the plaintiffs. The ruling reinforces the legal dispute surrounding the party's internal processes and leadership structure. Reacting to the judgment, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, said the decision confirms that the law must be respected in resolving political disputes. Wike said this is a wake-up call and an opportunity for members of the party to look inward and salvage the situation in order to move forward. Let me come to you first, Fimba. Wike seems to be talking, should I say talking soft? It's actually calling for them to shoot their sword. Let's start with that. Do you think that this is actually him just playing to the gallery? And also, what do you make of this new development of the court actually striking and saying, nullifying the convention that was held in November?
Yes, I think this is part of the design that the opposition, the current government of APC, this is their design. It's a grand plan. They don't really desire that any opposition will stand very firmly. If you look across, they are putting one or two stumbling blocks, which has been very effective in delaying and dragging and causing turmoil in most of these, in the other opposition parties, and take PDP for it. If they are validating that convention which they had, well, it is obvious that it is what they wanted to be playing out. I don't see where a number of candidates who are having a grievance with the party will take up and then put a matter which they can always easily overlook, and put it in court, and then the court now upholds it, which of course playing according to the ruling party's gallery. It is quite very sad because they also know that this is what they have been doing over the years. They have not been taken very seriously when it comes to positions that are objective. Our positions these days become very much laughing stocks. You see, the PDP particularly, they have made a mess of themselves in many fronts. And I think a good number of persons whom have sustained the party for so many years, they have lost hope in the party. They have become very bitter about the activities that are going on in the party. And being that one man who has also been able to messed the party in many fronts. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, he has been a recurring name in many chaos crises in PDP. I think he will be happy that this judgment has come forward, and he looks forward that it will not be sustained until the current leadership of APC is put back the president into power in 2027. They look forward to that.
Okay, thank you. Let me come back to Dr. Anosike. Dr. Anosike, Wike is saying that there's no need for them to go to appeal in the Supreme Court, that they should just, try to ensure that they resolve whatever issue that they have now. What do you make of this? Is he playing a script like Fimba just said?
Well, I like the word that Mr. Fimba used, that it is a design. Understand? And this is what I have also been using in the last 2 years. Even when we talk about this appeal the other time, I said that going to appeal is wasting their resources because Wike owns the courts. Understand me? So saying that he is happy with the judgment, he already know the judgment before today. Understand me? So it is not that's a surprise to him. That's why I say I respect Dino. Didn't understand, because after the Kogi governorship election, which was inconclusive, Dino said that he will not want to go that to court, that to waste his money, because he knows that our costs have been captured by the ruling party. Then SDP went to court up to the Supreme, and what Dino said happened. Understand me? So all this is just to make sure that PDP did not present a presidential candidate in 2027. Understand? And even if they are that to present, maybe a week to the presidential election, at the stooge, you will say that he's stepping down for the president. So that's where all these things are going to. And I have told you that those who are really in the opposition are no more in PDP. Understand me? Those who are truly in opposition have joined the ADC. So there's nothing that to talk here. This is a judgment that was even written before the council to the Turaki faction filed the case.
So where does this leave Turaki faction and everyone that is in that faction? Turaki and then his other supporters?
For me, Turaki is a APC. His supporters are also APC, because Turaki was suspended by his ward in Kebbi State for anti-party activities. That anti-party activities being working for APC. Understand me? So that was why at the convention, Kebbi chapter of PDP, we are not there, because Turaki, it's in suspension. It's on suspension. So now the issue is this: for them to declare fully for APC, understand me, which they are in the night and the PDP in the day. So let them now declare in the day that they not belong to APC. That's my stand.
Okay, let's move on. Still talking politics. The All Progressive Grand Alliance has called on 2 lawmakers to vacate their seats in the National Assembly following their defection from the party. The party specifically asked Senator Inyinaya Baribe and House of Representatives member Alex Ikweche to relinquish their mandate after defecting to the African Democratic Congress and Labour Party, respectively. Addressing a press conference in Aba, Abga's Abia State Publicity Secretary Chukwuemeka Nwokoro said the departure of the 2 lawmakers did not come as a surprise to the party, adding that their exit had instead liberated the party from what he described as political constraints. He further disclosed that their continued stay in the National Assembly after leaving the party contradicts constitutional provisions regarding party affiliation. He mentioned that the seats were won under its platform and therefore should be vacated if the lawmakers have indeed defected. Let me come to you first, Dr. Noske, if I go to Fimba. We have seen this happen over time, and we have not, what now the app guy is saying this. Do you see this actually coming to play? Do you see this lawmakers actually leaving their seats because they are defective?
Well, because that name you mentioned, I'm hearing it for the first time. That shows you that the guy just wants his name to be in the media. Understand me? The shoe shiner just wants his name to be in the media. Any near Abaribe did not win because of ABGA, because ABGA is non-existent in Abia State. ABGA is non-existent. The guy that even contested for governor under ABGA in 2023, even congratulated the OT before even the result was counted. And that shows you how he performed. Then if any nearby and the Equator should resign, what of all the people that have been defecting to APC? Understand me? What of all the people that have been defecting to APC? So that's why I said he just wants his name to be heard in the press.
But let's look at it really, Dr. Nosike. Don't you think that should be the right thing? You are not voted, because all of these governors that have been defecting, in actual sense, are they not supposed to actually leave their seats? Because these people were not voted. You were the party that you were voted in. Let's look at NNPP for example, Kano State. You were voted from, the people actually voted this party, and now you left the party, and now you moved to another party. Shouldn't, in actual sense, in the real sense of it, shouldn't these people actually leave their seats?
There's a very big difference between the way things are and the way things should be. Understand? What we are practicing in Nigeria is the way things are. Ordinarily, if you are on a ballot paper, you don't see anybody's picture. What you see is the logo of the party. We show that what people are voting for is the party, and the votes are not transferable. You cannot transfer Labour Party votes to ABGA or ABGA votes to APC or to PDP. Understand? So, but in Nigeria, that's not the way it is. And even in our constitution, it is boldly written that if you defect from your party to another one, understand, you lose your seat. But there's a proviso that unless if the party is in crisis, crisis means have factions, so understand me. So, but our constitution is no more being followed. So what Abaribe and Equator did is what APC has been doing. So if Abaribe is to vacate his seat, it means that all the senators that defected to APC should also vacate their seats.
Okay, let's go back to our virtual guest. We've seen, like I mentioned while I was talking to Mr. Tanosike, that we've seen these defections every time. We've been seeing defections. Last week we saw defections. Last month we saw defections. It's just been what has been in Nigerian politics. I want to ask you, what does this say for you? What does this say about party ideology and discipline?
It goes to make a mockery. I think it goes to make a mockery of our electoral system. The constitution is there. You don't need to start turning things around. It's unfortunate that they have set a very bad precedence. When you are elected under a party, like my colleague said, Anosike said, it is the party that was identified before you were elected, and then you suddenly want to defect. You have to, first of all, come down from there, and then you now go for another election. That is how it should be rightfully done in a sane society. You don't come for an election when you have won. In fact, you'll be surprised that one day it won't be up to 24 hours. Somebody who will just finish winning an election, then the next day he wakes up, he just gets up from bed and tells you that he has defected to one party. It becomes a normal thing. It becomes a normal thing. What kind of society are we practicing? This has been happening and it has become a precedence. The worst is coming. Under 24 hours, a candidate will be elected. Within 24 hours, he's now decamping to another party. You'll be amazed. They're making a rubbish of our political system here, and many other countries will be laughing at us. What kind of a country is this? And we say we are giant of Africa. Is this how giants of Africa set examples for others to follow? It is very unfortunate. Our political class, they continue to make a mess, and this is one of the so many other messes which they continue to make. It's quite sad that the party, which of course the Abaribe specifically, and his brother are moving into Labour Party or whichever party, that Abga is one that they are moving from. You see, I think it's even high time the parties can take it very seriously and make people to sign. Before you take a party ticket, you have to have a column where you sign. If you are decamping, you will have to relinquish your office before you decamp, and then you come to contest in that other party. Let the party who has won that slot be the one to bring a candidate first, and then when it's time for elections, you can now come and contest. I think the party should take that to that line. Any candidate who is coming for election, you should have a provision where they will sign. If you decamp, you give up your office, and then you now go and contest. I think some of them will learn. I know they might have a way around it, because most of these are politicians, they are Maradona in many fronts of this kind of our politics. So, but I think that should be provided when they are contesting elections. It is sad, very, very sad. But Feyinaya Abaribe and his colleague who are decamping to another party, well, I wish them good luck.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on to our last conversation for tonight. A recent interview granted to Al Jazeera by presidential spokesperson Daniel Bwala has sparked criticism and political debate. Former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Kingsley Moghalu, has described the interview as damaging to Nigeria's image and to the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. According to Moghalu, the interview portrayed Nigeria poorly on the global stage, given the international reach of the program and the presence of a live global audience. Moghalu also argued that the exchange raised questions about the government's choice of spokesperson, suggesting that competence often takes a back seat to loyalty in political appointment. Meanwhile, Bwala has reacted to the backlash that followed his recent interview with Mehdi Hassan, saying his past comments about his principal were made in the context of politics. He also accused Hassan of employing opposition-style tactics during the interview. Dr. Osike, let me first ask you, what do you make of that interview that Bwala had?
And for me, they should go and investigate how he got his law degree. In somebody in first year law should be able to defend himself properly. It shows that Daniel is lazy in the head, understand? But I understand. But what happened? He said that there was one quotation that he's used to quotations that our brain is miraculous, that it works 24 hours, but once you enter APC, it stops working. That is what I'm quoting him. So. And he has entered APC and his brain stopped working. So that is why he couldn't remember the things that he had said before. Imagine interviews that you granted, tweets that you made. I didn't say that. I can't remember saying that. That showed you that his brain has stopped working because he has joined the APC. Understand? It's not everything that you deny. So for me, I saw somebody who even a bricklayer is smarter than. Understand me? I saw somebody who even a bricklayer is more intelligent than. What pains me is this man